Hello, I'm Paul Berman, and I'm the Walter S. Cox Professor of Law at the George Washington University. Welcome to this course on the Introduction to Business Law. And this course is designed to make it possible for you to take and pass the CLEP exam on Introduction to Business Law. The idea is that if you watch these lectures and then after you watch the lectures, do a few practice exams, try to memorize as much of what I'm doing as possible, you will be in a position to pass the exam without having to look at any other materials. In other words, these lectures contain all the substantive legal material that you need in order to succeed in the CLEP exam. We're going to do a series of modules. The first one is on the history and sources of American law. The second one is on the American legal system and its procedural operation within the courts. The third module will address the legal rules surrounding contracts. The fourth module is the general legal environment within which businesses operate. So that includes things like antitrust law and consumer protection law and environmental law and employment law and labor law and things like that. Then we'll turn to torts, which is the law of harms by which someone might be harmed by someone else's negligence or things like that. Then we'll look at agency relationships, partnerships, and corporations. And we'll finish up by looking at the specific law governing the sale of goods under what's called the Uniform Commercial Code, and we'll have more to talk about that when we get there. Now, in all of these lectures, I have structured them so that they are like I am in the room with you, talking directly to you. I didn't want to write down everything I'm going to say and then read it off a teleprompter because I think that gets very boring. So instead, I'm going to lecture. I'm just going to talk to you and try to teach you as clearly as I can. That means that there will be some ums and uhs, and I might stumble over language and so forth. But I think it will be more lively, more entertaining for you, and it will be my best effort to make the material clear to you. I have been a professor for over 20 years. I've also been a dean of 2 law schools, the Sandra Day O'Connor College of Law at Arizona State University and the George Washington University Law School. I've worked in private practice for big law firms. I've also worked in smaller situations doing civil rights litigation. And I think, therefore, that I'm well situated to help you as we go through all of these principles of business law together. And hopefully the material will be clear and maybe also entertaining. Even beyond the exam, it would be nice if you could take from this a real working knowledge of some of the principles that govern the operation of business in the United States. I'm someone who believes that everybody in this country should learn a little bit about law so that it's not so mysterious. So that you understand not only the legal rules, but why we have them. What are the rationales for our various legal rules? What's the history underlying them? And so I hope that you will find this interesting and useful. And of course, I hope that it helps you in your preparation for the CLEP exam.